This conference will now be recorded.
Hello all. So today we will be learning about the volume constraints. So did we go through the volume constraints or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So let us understand about volume constraints. I believe in the last session we have completed the contact policy, right? We have covered the contact policy. Am I right?
Real-time events we did yesterday.
So did we complete the contact policy?
Engagement policy we did.
Okay, but contact policy we did not learn, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll learn these two things, the contact policy and the volume constraints. So let's start with contact policy first then. That's more important than this. So as part of engagement policy, there is also one more component that's called as contact policy. So what is the purpose of contact policy? Why do we use it? Let us try to understand now. So in order to configure certain, see, basically let us understand this. Okay, so that will just be easy for you. First of all, contact policy means what is, we'll see it. Contact policy means maximum number of times a customer can be contacted, okay, on a particular channel during a certain time interval. So that means what? For example, let's take you take anything, right? For example, let us say uh, example, let us say a customer, and let us say that you are getting an email from one particular bank like HDFC Bank. The HDFC Bank, it is sending an email to you every single day. It is sending, and it is saying sending the same offer like personal loan, but you are not interested in personal loan, right? You are not interested in personal loan, so you don't want that personal loan. So every day it is sending the same offer and you are irritated with it, and what you will do, you'll just simply unsubscribe to that particular business, or you will unsubscribe for the notifications. So in order to avoid this kind of irritation to the customer, that means even the customer has satisfied all the conditions that are there in eligibility, applicability, and suitability. We don't want to send same offer or multiple offers many times to the customers. So we need to have a certain limit on what we are doing. So that's what you do it in a contact policy. The contact policy, we will define maximum number of times we can contact a particular customer on a particular channel during a certain time interval. So this particular contact policy is having two components. The first one is customer contact limit. The second one is suppression policy. So the contact policy itself has two things: customer contact limit and suppression policy. So within the customer contact limit, you will have the limits that you will specify, right? All those limits you will be specifying it here itself in the customer contact limit. So in order to configure this contact policy, you can define that under constraints. So this is where you do that. So you go to constraints, right? And you can see here, you can configure these options here. This is the customer contact limit. As I told you, right? For example, let's say I want to send maximum of 2 emails per day per customer. That's what I'm doing here, right? That's what I'm saying about contact policy. The main definition of contact policy is maximum number of times a customer can be contacted on a particular channel during a certain time interval. That's what you are defining here. So you just come here, simply just click on edit, and you can specify whatever the business requirement that you have, you can specify it here. Right now, the configuration is defined like this. Using email, we can send 2 emails per day, right? That is what is there, right? We can send 2 emails per day, and SMS, we can send 1 SMS per month. Because see, if you are sending every day 5 emails or 5 SMS, simply the customer will be irritated. So many emails, so many SMSs we are sending, and they will simply just complain about you, why you are doing that, or they will simply unsubscribe to you. So this should not happen. We need to send only the relevant offers. Even if it is relevant, we should send in a systematic approach, in a way that customer is happy but not customer is irritated. Like 1 email per month, you can set it, and you can do that. So every time the system is sending the offers, it will first check the contact policy, and you are saying here email 1 contact per subscriber. That means you are contacting 1 time during 1 month. Let us say you are sending 1 email today, and again the campaign will send email again after 1 month only to that same customer. If you have 1,000 customers, then it is going to send only 1,000 emails in that particular month. Then again after next month, when the system has reset the time period, then only it is going to send the remaining 1,000, like that. So that is how this particular configuration is applicable. And this contact policy, you will set it only for outbound channels, right? You will be sending it only for outbound channels, right? For example, if it is inbound channels, for example, like website is an inbound channel because the customer will visit the website. There is no limit on that. There is no certain restriction, right? Because I'm going to a particular website, I can open the website 100 times also. I can open the website 1,000 times also. There is no restriction. We can't control that. So that's the reason this contact policy is applied only on outbound channels. And you will specify what is the channel, what is the limit. So the system will take care of this particular limit, and it will follow this particular limit that you specify here. If you want to give this contact policy only for a certain duration, then you can give it only for certain duration. Otherwise, you can keep it empty, which means the contact policy will be applied lifetime without any. Is it understood the customer contact limit? What we are doing here?
Yeah.
So you don't need to refer this anywhere, just you configure it in the NBA designer constraints. NBA designer constraints, then come here and you'll set how many times we can contact on email, daily or monthly. Based on the requirement that you get, you need to configure it here. Email how many times per month, per week, how many times. SMS how many times per week, per day, per month. That configuration you do it here. Now the second part of contact policy is suppression rule. That's a suppression policy. Here the customer contact limit, you will just say limit the. So here we are going to limit the number of times customer can be contacted on a particular channel during a certain time period. The definition of contact policy is also same thing. Maximum number of times we can contact a customer on a particular channel during a certain time period. Coming to the suppression policy, let us say, for example, you have satisfied all the 3 conditions: eligibility, applicability, and suitability. Then you are getting one offer. That offer is also coming in a limited period. That means we are not getting the same offer like 5 times, 10 times daily. Like you are getting only once per day, something like that. That means there is a certain limit. You are not irritated. You are happy with that promotion. Okay, you are happy with that promotion. Let us say we will take the same thing like standard card offer is there. Standard card offer, you satisfied eligibility, you satisfied the applicability, you satisfied the suitability. All of them are satisfied by your customer profile. And also you are getting, let us say, 1 email per week, something like that. Now, let us say that you are accepting that particular offer. Okay, you are accepting that particular offer. Now, what is that means? So just because you are accepting that offer, let us say you are accepting that standard card offer. Now, does it make sense to send the same email with standard card offer again tomorrow? There should be some restriction where if a customer accepts the offer, we need to hide that particular offer, right? We need to stop showing that particular offer. So let us say, even if the customer, let us say the customer has rejected a particular offer, then whenever the campaign is scheduled for tomorrow, the campaign should not send the same offer that has been rejected, right? So that is taken care by suppression policy. The suppression policy is used for hiding the actions based on certain customer behavior. Okay, we can use the suppression policy in order to hide the actions based on a customer behavior. Let us say the business requirement is, if the customer has accepted an offer, we should not show the same offer again, right? We should not send the same promotion to the customer again. Similarly, a customer has rejected the offer, we should not send the same offer again to the customer because he already rejected it. So this kind of suppressing the offers can be done by using the suppression policy. So let us see how do we configure that. You just come here and simply, let us say, I'll just say add contract policy, and I will say here 30-day, let's say I'll just say 30 days acceptance rule. Okay, I'm just saying 30 days acceptance rules. Then what I will say, what I am saying is track the acceptance for the offer within past 30 days. Okay, within past 30 days. Now, if at all there is any one acceptance for any email treatment, for example, you can say email, then suppress the actions for next 10 days or 20 days, whatever it is, or you can say 100 days, like that. So that means what we are doing here, we are checking, Pega is going to check, Pega marketing will check it in the last 30 days. If at all a customer has accepted an offer, then he has accepted the offer on email treatments. That means we have sent an email to the customer with the treatment, internal treatment, that is having accept button and reject button. The customer has accepted by clicking on the accept button in the email treatment. Then we will not show that offer again through email. Okay, we will not show that offer through email again for next 100 days. So you can keep any requirement like 100 days, 200 days, 500, whatever is based on your requirement, because that's valid. Customer has already accepted it, then why are you promoting it again? We should not promote that one, right? So this is what it will take care. Very important concept here. Similarly, let us say rejected also. For example, I'll just say for email, this is the one. Let us say, I'll say if there are 3 accepts for SMS treatments, suppress that offer for, let's say, 50 days. Again, what I mean by saying 3, that means I am sending it to my customers. Out of all my customers, if 3 customers have 3 accepts are recorded, then we are suppressing that offer. Okay, if 3 accepts are recorded, we are suppressing that offer. That means we don't want to show that offer because 3 people have already shown interest on that, and they have shown interest on SMS treatments. So we don't want to show it again for next 50 days. That is what we are configuring it here. So we are tracking for last time.
But here it is showing for all customers or same customers?
For that particular customer only.
Okay.
So let us say it is tracking 3 accepts. So let's say 3 customers have accepted out of 100 customers. For those 3 customers who have accepted, we will not show it for 50 days. For the remaining people, we'll show it. It is at customer level. Okay. So this is for email. That means customer has accepted. That means one customer has accepted on email. For that particular customer, we will not show it again.
And
So
we
here
can track
we will
only
not
accepts, right? Not reject.
suppress. Here we will not suppress. Here we will not suppress for one time only. We will wait for 3 accepts. At least 3 people have accepted, then only we are suppressing here. But here we are only waiting for 1 accept, and if at all 1 person has accepted, then for that particular customer we will not show that offer for next 100 days. So the suppression rule main purpose it is going to hide that offer. It is going to hide that offer for a certain duration based on the customer behavior. Okay, yeah, you're asking something else.
Yeah, it's only for acceptance, right? Or okay, track reject
All of
also.
them, see anything.
Okay.
So let us say similarly, I'll say 30 days rejection policy. I'm just giving it name like this, name of the suppression policy. I'll say track the rejects. You can also see for that particular action, for all actions in the group, or for all actions in the issue. Let us say in credit cards. Okay, in credit cards group, there are 4 types of credit cards like standard card, rewards card, these things. Let us say in the entire group, any one offer got accepted, we will not show the offer, any offer again in that particular group. If that is kind of requirement, you will select group level. Let us say within the sales issue, any offer got accepted or any offer got rejected, then we will not show it again. So this is again, if we want to track a single particular actions behavior, or all the actions in the group, or all the actions in the issue. Let's say I'm taking all the actions in the group and I'm saying 30 days rejection policy. I'm just saying here 30 days within the past 30 days. Track the rejects for all the actions in the group within the past 30 days. How it is going to track? Track here means what? Track here means it is going to check the interaction history. It is going to check the interaction history. If the interaction history is having the data where the customers have, let us say, made 5 rejects for email treatments, then suppress all the actions in the group for, let us say, I'm just saying 300 days, something like that. You can just give one also. That means one reject has happened. That means one particular offer that is present in credit cards group, one reject, some customer has rejected it, then we are suppressing all the offers. That means we will not show any credit card offer for next 300 days. Of course, this might not be valid, but if you get a scenario, then you should be able to select the appropriate configuration. So this is only suppressing that particular offer which got accepted, but this is suppressing that particular offer as well as other actions that are there in that credit cards group. So this way you can specify the suppression policy. The suppression policy is used to hide a particular offer based on the customer's action. Let us say customer is accepting the offer, we should not show the offer again. Let us say customer is rejecting the offer, we should not show the offer again. Let us say the customer has saw the offer 3 times, but he did not make any action. That is also like he is not interested, right? Let us say that customer has opened the email treatment 3 times. That means 3 impressions are recorded. After 3 impressions, he did not purchase it, or he did not reject it also. So that is also, since he saw that but he's not making any action, we need to suppress it. We need to suppress that action. Now based on your requirement, whether you want to suppress only that particular offer, or whether you want to suppress all the offers in the group, or whether you want to suppress all the offers in the issue, you will be selecting here. Then you will specify how many number of days you don't want to show the offer. That's it. Okay, so like this you will give the contact policy, which contains 2 components: the customer contact limit, how many times we can contact a customer on a particular channel during a certain time period, and second thing is suppression policy, mainly used for hiding the offers based on the customer behavior. Whether you want to hide only that offer, whether you want to hide all the offers in the group, or whether you want to hide all the offers in the issue, and for how many days you want to hide. So one thing is, whenever you are creating this tracking time period, you call it as tracking time period. That means you can see here, right? I'm saying track the rejects, track the accepts for 30 days, for 7 days. This is called tracking time period. Now there is only two types of configurations will be there, but that means when I'm trying to track the time period, I'm getting only two options, right? One is I am getting for 7 days. Second is I'm getting for 30 days. Let us say you are having a business requirement where they will say in the last 3 days, in the last 20 days, if the customer has accepted, don't show. Or let us say in the last 1 day, okay, in the last 1 day, if the customer has accepted a particular offer, don't show that offer again. Then how will you select here? Because there is only 7 and 30. So there is a certain what you say, the link is there which you have it. So this is the one that you need to open, which is called tracking time period. How do you add custom tracking time periods? This is the link that you need to practice it. So just whenever you are free, just go through this link. As part of this challenge, they are implementing how to add a new time period like 14 days. We already saw that there are only two types of time periods, right? 7 days and 30 days. If I want to add 14 days, then what I need to do? So this all steps you need to perform. You need to perform all these steps. Okay, you need to perform all these steps that are mentioned here.
Can you give the
So
link in the
yeah, I'm just pasting it. So did we see about interaction history topic?
yeah.
Not yet, sorry. Did we cover that? How to fetch the interaction history, inserting into interaction history, fetching the interaction history.
Yeah.
Did we see that? Huh?
Yes, capture interaction, OTP activity, and update status, shape.
Yeah. Capture response. Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, this is what you are doing here, right? Interaction history summary. As I told you, how do you get last 5 days, last 3 days? I told you, right? We have a recommended way of retrieving the data from interaction history, which is called interaction history summary component. So you will make use of this interaction history summary component and you will be modifying these details. So if you follow this, you can learn some strategy components also. So I just pasted it there. You can practice this. Once you do all these step by steps that they have mentioned, you will be getting a new drop down like this. You see they have done it for 14 days. You can also get, you can try it like 7 days, like 5 days, 3 days, like that. So you need to follow this entire step by step procedure in order to define your own time period. In order to define your own tracking time period, you need to follow this method. So just follow that link and you can just get the information whatever you want. So this is about the contact policy. All you need to do is come to the NBA designer constraints and you can configure the contact policy. In the backend, it will generate the proposition filter, which will be used in the data flow. So you don't need to worry like whether you need to change anything or you need to call it somewhere. You don't need to call it anywhere. Just you need to configure it and leave it as it is. First thing, you can specify how many times we can contact a customer on a particular channel during a certain time period. That means here I'm saying we can only send one email every month and we can only send one SMS every day. That is what is the current configuration. The second configuration that we have is the suppression policy, where you will say how many times we can contact, like what does it mean here? How many, whether you want to hide a particular offer if at all customer has accepted. You can see the OOTB, there are two already, right? If you see here, if there are 100 impressions for web treatments, suppress that particular offer for 10 days. That means, let us say one offer is there on the website. That offer, 100 impressions are recorded. no matter if it is 1,000 customers or 10,000 customers or even it is 10 customers also. But 10 customers can make 100 impressions, right, by refreshing 10 times. So that way also they have seen it 100 impressions, but after 100 impressions no one is taking any action, so we are simply suppressing that particular offer. That means we don't want customers to see that many times. That means that offer can be some poor offer that they might not be interested. Similarly, the group clicks are also there. That means we are tracking the clicks for all the offers in a group for past 7 days. If at all there are 20 clicks in the web treatments, suppress the offer for next 10 days. That means if at all 20 clicks are recorded on the website banner, the website ad, then we will not show that particular offer for the next 10 days. So this all kind of requirement you should always configure it with suppression policies only. Okay, you should always configure that with suppression policies only. So this is
Web
what
treatment is for inbound, right? Then this one, inbound channel.
Yeah, this is for inbound. This can be for both inbound or outbound because there is no certain limit, right? So you can define. So this, what we can do, suppressing thing is within the control of Pega, suppressing the offer. But here, how many times we can contact, how many times they can contact us, that we don't have any control, right? Because customer can call to the customer care whenever he wants. Customer can open the website whenever he wants. But we cannot restrict, like don't call, like you cannot say that. But we can restrict here not to show the offer. Even though they are calling, even though they are seeing the offer, we can restrict from Pega marketing not to send the offer, not to display the offer to them. So this is inbound, right? Okay. So the suppression policies can be applicable for both inbound and outbound, but the contact policy, it's applicable only for outbound channels. So you can only apply the contact policy for outbound channels. So you call this as contact policy, then we call this as suppression policy in our Pega marketing projects. So you need to follow the same terminology. This is contact policy and this is suppression policy. So next we have here is the volume constraints. So similar to contact policy, we have one more thing that is called volume constraints. So first of all, let us see what is volume constraint here. While contact policy, we define max number of times we can contact customer per channel per time period. Okay, a time period like this. Volume constraints, what we will do is, from a offers perspective, we will define the volume constraints. That means maximum number of offers we can deliver to the customer. That means minimum number of offers and maximum number of offers. That is what we will define it here. Okay, that's what we will be defining it here. So mainly, when do you go for volume constraints? Let us say there is some stock options, right? That means there is some inventory. Because just because the customers, let us say 1,000 customers are eligible, you cannot send 1,000 offers, right? Maybe the business will not have that many products manufactured. Okay, let us say if you are taking some laptop, or let us say you are taking some iPhone, right? You are taking some iPhone product, you are sending some iPhone. There will be some certain inventory for that, right? Like I have only 100 iPhones that I can send to my customers. I have only 500 iPhones. So these kind of inventory related configuration, you will do it in volume constraints. So just say the same thing, like for example, I'll just say iPhone constraints. Then I'll click on created. That means, let us say your manufacturing unit, it is manufacturing the iPhones like every month, every year, like that. That's what you can define it here. So you can just say add definition. You can see here what I'm saying is minimum volume. That means minimum I need to send, I can send minimum, I can send 50 iPhones, okay, and maximum I can send 100 iPhones, iPhone offers, you can say 100 iPhone offers. and when every day. I'm selecting every day, reset interval every day. Then you can see, and you just select the channel. That means through email, I can send 50 iPhones per day and maximum 100, because the stock is only 100. Every day I have only 100 stock. I cannot send more than that. So from an offer perspective, when you want to define the inventory, like how many offers that you can send per day, then you will be going for minimum volume and maximum volume. So let us say, for example, let's say you are saying something like this, right? We can send 100 customers are there. Okay, 100 customers are there. We have defined 50 iPhone offers minimum per day, and we are saying one email per day as contact policy. Okay, we are saying one email per day as contact policy. So then what will happen? It will only send 50 emails per day to 50 customers, and remaining 50 customers they will get in next schedule. Okay, definitely the Pega marketing has to satisfy both volume constraints and also the contact policy. Okay, both of them are satisfied here, right? We are sending only 50 emails to 50 customers, one email per customers, and 50 offers we are able to see. So since it is saying 100, but yeah, so we have one email per day, so you can send 100 also, right? That's the so you're able to get, right, what I'm saying. I'm saying minimum 50. Let us say I'm giving maximum 70. Okay, then I'm saying maximum 70, minimum 50, maximum 70. 100 customers are there, we can send one email per day. So then how many you can send per day? 70 emails to 70 customers. This will satisfy volume constraints, and also this will satisfy my contact policy also, because I have sent maximum 70 and remaining 30 customers will send, they will get in the next schedule. Let us say the campaign is again running tomorrow or day after tomorrow. At that time, those remaining 30 people will get the remaining offers. So that is how the contact policy and volume constraint, both of them will be applicable now. Okay, you got it, right? What I am doing here, I'm saying minimum 50, maximum 70 per day. That is my volume constraint setting, and I'm having 100 customers. I can send only one email per day. So each person will be sending one email, and 70 emails will be sending with 70 iPhone offers. So I'll say 70 iPhone offer emails. So since 70 is the maximum, it can only send 70. Then remaining 30 it will be sending in the next schedule. Clear or not? So here you can just select what is the offer name, right? I'll just select that offer name and I'll just save it. Now every time the campaign will execute, it will first keep on exhausting this. Let us say 10 emails it has sent, then this count will become 90 remaining. Let us say it has sent 50 emails, then this count will become like 50 remaining. Like this, once it becomes 0, then it will no longer send the standard card offer. Okay, once it becomes 0, it will no longer send the standard card offers. Got it or not? See, is it confusing or is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this volume constraint is applicable from a offer perspective, from an action perspective. How many actions we have in the stock? Like I have only 50 actions I can send per day, 100 I can send maximum, 50 minimum, and then after one day again this will be reset, and again you can send 50 again minimum and 100 again maximum. That is what you will be doing here. So in order to apply the volume constraints, you can apply that under campaigns. Contact policy, you don't need to apply it anywhere. That will be available throughout the system. But volume constraints, once you configure them, you need to apply them in the campaigns. So if you go to the campaigns tab and you create a multi-channel campaign, So if you go to the build tab, right, if you scroll down, you can see here constraints, volume constraints. This is where you apply the volume constraints. Okay, so this is where you apply that volume constraints. So you can just select the one that you created and you can just apply it. So this is about the contact policy, suppression rules, and the volume constraints. Contact policy is the maximum number of times we can contact the customer. Suppression volume constraint is maximum number of offers that we can send. First of all, from a business point of view, how many offers they are having in stock. If they are having minimum, they can have 10, maximum they have only 20, then they can only send 20. Remaining customers, they will be getting the offer. Once the time interval is reset, then only they will be getting. So that is how the volume constraints are applied, and also the contact policies are applied. Any questions or any doubts on this, or is it clear? No doubts, right? Okay, fine then. So just configure this, configure the contact policy, configure the suppression rules. Try to practice this challenge link which I gave you. This will give you a lot of information on strategies also, and interaction history summary also. By just follow this, make sure once you come to the designer and once you click on add contact policy, you need to get this drop down. Then only it is successful. Whatever the thing that you have done, it is successful. Just try to practice this particular challenge. Okay, then see you.
Thank you.